Warning, the following podcast contains excessive amounts of dumb jokes, subpar criticism, overly deep reads, casual use of the fuck word, and other fun expletives. Listener discretion is advised.
Bullshit around this week. Hey, Jack, what are we watching tonight?
We're just getting into
We're getting into
it.
What are we watching tonight?
Okay, we're watching Warcraft, the 2016 hit film based on the game Warcraft.
That's true.
Yeah.
All of what you said is correct.
Yeah.
And I'm Jake, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel. I'm Sam.
I'm Jackson. I'm glad we actually remembered.
We did that this
we
time.
did that at the beginning this time.
Yes, we did.
Holy shit. So, am I the only one who... I'm the only one who's seen this before, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is my third time seeing it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So that puts you in a unique position, and so two people here also have played Warcraft games.
Yeah.
At least World of Warcraft. So, obviously me and Sam are the only two people who are meant and qualified.
Absolutely.
You open it up a stack there, buddy.
The quiz words were much louder than I was expecting them to be. I apologize.
Yeah, they're real loud,
It's
but that's
important
fine.
to have movie snacks.
But me and Sam are the only people qualified to talk about this, obviously.
Yeah.
So, Sam,
Yes.
I know a little bit about Warcraft. All of the orcs are named Thrall. The main human, I believe, was named Arthas. And the bird was the main character.
See, I got a slightly different read.
Okay,
Just
what
a
read
little
did you
bit.
get?
Didn't really give a shit who the humans were. They all
Yeah.
look kind of the same person.
Yes.
They killed my boy. I decided Durathan?
Duratan.
Duratan.
He's obviously your boy. Duracell.
I
His
did.
name is OxyClean. Thank you.
No, I'll be real here. Duratan was my boy, and
Yeah, he was
I would rather have watched a whole movie just about him becoming a chieftain.
Well, the reason that I know
We'll just get we should do the nerd facts
do
first.
the nerd facts. The first nerd fact I really need to put on the table, and we're gonna fast track, and then we'll come back to how much money this movie made. So this movie has a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, and It's really important to put this in context because it is only 0.2 points away from iRobot, which has a 7.1.
You know, I'm not mad at that.
IMDb is notorious, for that.
Yeah, but that is like a wildly close.
I mean, they're
what's the
really, honestly, you make a few changes in this movie. I don't think they're that far off.
Huh.
This movie has a couple of big glaring issues to keep it from being passable. I will say, from my perspective, though, this is probably the best video game movie I've ever watched.
I'm trying to think if I've seen a better one.
I don't actually.
I agree. I haven't seen
enjoyed-
Rampage. I
I
heard
enjoyed-
Rampage was good.
Rampage
okay.
is fun, but nothing like the game, so it's on its own.
Yeah.
And
This is surprisingly truthful to the game and most
I don't know
aspects.
anything about that. I just
I'll-
know
I'll
that.
go.
No,
So
it
I'll go
is.
into it.
So here's what I'm going to say. It is better than Tomb Raider.
Okay.
It's better than it's
Which
a hell of a lot.
Tomb Raider?
I haven't
old?
seen the new one, so
Okay,
the old one.
the
The old Tomb Raider, I would say, is probably in second place to this one. Because it's going up against Max Payne starring Marky Mark, which
Yeah.
sucks,
Yeah, really sucks.
and Hitman, both of them. And those are both
Doom.
awful.
What about Doom?
Oh,
I like Doom.
yeah, I like
It's not
Doom, but
good,
not in
though.
a way
But
that
I
it's
like Doom.
Yeah, I'll give Doom a pass, but it's not it's not a passable movie.
Any of the Uwe Boll movies.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh god.
Oh, Mortal
All
Kombat's
right,
actually
all right, this
really
is
good.
all right, never mind. This is the second best video game movie.
Yeah,
Mortal
okay.
Kombat's first.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is original Mortal
This
Kombat.
this
Yes.
movie losing out on the sin that it does not have Sub-Zero versus Scorpion at any point during the movie.
Yeah.
At least I didn't see it.
No, there was some good swinging of maces, but no good chain.
There was no good chain on. There was no.
There was Chain and Ball.
Yeah, but that's it.
That's
There was
about
no. Man, we both.
These aren't elegant people. Have you seen their shoulders?
Are you saying
They're massive.
Yeah, why weren't
Hold
the
on, wait a
humans
second.
that?
Are you telling me that Scorpion is an elegant fighter?
Comparatively, yes.
How many orcs do you think Scorpion could take? All of them, or
Two.
mostly all? No. Scorpion can take way more.
No,
than
because
2.
he's got 2 hands. He can jab one guy.
Oh, okay, so you're talking at a time. I'm talking like overall.
I'm talking overall. He's so
Only
distracted.
2?
He's got 2 hands on his chain to get one guy down, while these guys can literally throw a hammer from across the room.
We're not talking. Look, if we do this is going to get into the Who Would Win podcast, and we can't do that. We've already hit the most important
much
one
did it
with
make?
that. It made
The budget's really
the
important. 'cause
budget
this movie
is-
made a lot of money.
this movie was made on a budget of $160 million, and it made
Less-
$439 million.
I want to point this out, less than Wild Wild West still.
We're still have we still
Wild
not
Wild
gone
West
beyond
is still the
Wild Wild
highest
West?
budget.
Holy shit, we're gonna be stuck under the
And
umbrella of
that's-
Wild Wild West
That's
until
not even including inflation for Wild Wild West.
no,
I think, so.
Wild Wild West
Wow.
cost way more than this movie, is what that means.
Something will unseat Wild West eventually.
It will
Eventually,
be-
but not now.
Not now.
Maybe
It'll be a
not
James
right
Cameron movie, almost assuredly.
Yeah, if we ever watch one. We
Yeah.
already talked earlier about how we're never doing Titanic.
Yeah,
Both
So-
things, end of movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. There's our Titanic podcast. It's right here. Those are all the. I just have the budget nerd facts. I don't know much about
Clancy
Warcraft.
Brown's in this movie.
Clancy Brown is in this movie.
Mhm.
I mean, I can tell you about the stuff that's
Yeah.
as we go through. If you guys got any points,
I wrote a lot of notes down for
I
this.
have some points. I played decent portion of the Warcraft game, and I've watched some of the other. Yeah, it's fairly accurate to the storyline. I
Yeah.
will say that. I will say also, and I understand costuming budgets are rough.
No, they weren't. This movie had a budget of $160 million.
So much money.
Shh. I understand that, but there was a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
Why Khadgar, our one of our main mages, the good mage, we'll call
Yeah.
him, versus bad mage,
Baby mage.
Yeah.
baby mage.
Dadgar versus Medivh.
Yeah. So Khadgar, did his robe look like it was just like a towel to anybody else? Because I spent
Most
the
of the
entire
wizard robes did, though.
yeah, that was very
Yeah.
distracting.
Whenever Medivh's wearing that weird red robe instead of his main get up,
I'm pretty sure I own that blanket.
yeah, he's just being
Also-
real cozy.
Yeah.
Also,
Which, I mean-
casual, definitely. I am the antagonist.
Oh,
Change in
yeah.
outfit.
Oh,
As soon
yeah.
as he shows up in the feathery robes, I was like, this ain't good.
Oh, I disagree. I think the second he shows up, you know that he's
Yeah.
going to be the bad guy.
Yeah, he looks a little
Like-
too
He's a wizard alone in a tower. That's never a good
In all
sign.
fairness-
He's got one dude with him, and he's making a golem. This is all the signs of a wizard who's getting ready to go mad with power.
Mhm.
In all fairness, while Medivh is an asshole, he did get a little corrupted.
A little corrupted.
Just a
corrupted.
little
A wee bit.
corrupted.
The
I
green
do-
is very strong.
I know I know nothing about this plot, this lore, nothing. However, I do have to wonder, because the way they build it,
Well,
as far
go
as
for it.
him
I can
going...
answer any questions you
Well,
might
my
have.
big issue is that he's over here.
Yeah.
He is our big bad. Not even he's our big bad. He is...
Gul'dan's more of our big bad.
Gul'dan's not even the big bad. The fellow in and of itself is the big bad.
The
Because
fella,
apparently there's some-
Gul'dan's our big bad.
No,
he's
Because
yeah,
he's still dependent on someone else for the magic. It takes 2
yeah, but we don't know that
underlings.
yet. We don't know who's behind all that
They
stuff.
didn't
this is a
say.
giant
We saw the
thing.
demon.
We did see a demon?
Well, no, that was just okay.
That was
So here's how it
corruption.
worked.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Medivh got corrupted, which
Yes.
started turning him into a demon, which I forget the actual name of it. It starts with a D. Those people
Demon.
are controlled.
Demicus.
No, sort of.
Really?
It sounds similar. To that.
All right, cool.
Those people are, and this we won't find out because it's not covered until Warcraft 3. Or actually,
That's not-
way
I
later.
love. Hold
But-
on. Can I stop you for a second? I love this movie right now for this reason. There's no spoilers ever because it's all been done in the games.
Yeah,
already.
Mhm.
Those people are controlled by 2 bigger demons, Kill Jaden and Archimon. Archimon.
Yeah.
And
Hold on.
that-
The
that's
names are literally kill somebody and archdemon.
yes.
Yes.
And those people are controlled by a god, an evil god, Sargeras.
Yeah.
So-
Okay, that's the first respectable god name
Yeah, so it's
or
like
demon
it's
name
like
we've
it's
had.
like chaos man, decidedly dark chaos.
Yeah,
magic.
dark chaos magic. He's
and,
the only.
and he's the god of it.
Okay.
He's the only
All right.
Titan who defected.
I
so.
will take
Yeah.
that into consideration. But within the plot that I saw on that
Yes.
screen, knowing nothing
In the
else...
context of this movie as
Yeah.
a movie.
Well,
There's a lot of plot holes.
No, not even plot holes. I'm not really mad about the plot, all things considered. My big issue comes at the very end of the movie. The rest of it is the appropriate level of fantasy
Okay.
nonsense that I'm saying. My issue is they make it clear in the movie that something let the orcs in.
Yes.
They make it clear later on that Medivh is the one who let them in.
Yes.
But when Medivh has would someone please put me in the font, Moros? I'm feeling really shitty.
Yeah.
You know, whoopsie, I think I've actually been corrupted. Is basically what he says. You know, whoopsie-doo.
Yeah.
It seems I might have been a slight bit corrupted by the Fel.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to. That's on me. I was just trying to be helpful. Is literally the conversation he has with his manservant as he melts into green goo and then gets turned into a corpsey demon creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My issue with that is the way it portrays it is he possessed by a demon itself, or is the Fel its own entity?
The Fel is a magic that corrupts.
Okay, so it has a goal. It is doing its own thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's this one force.
But overall, it's kind of you're kind of controlled by Sargeras at that point. But in the context of the movie, yes, the green goo is evil.
Okay, so long as we have established it is
Yeah.
the green goo itself that is plotting domination on both sides.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to be working both sides, too. Because there was a lot of confusion.
Yeah, ultimately it's just a planet killer.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So long as it's the green goo Galactus, we can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
Green Goo Galactus. That's what Sargeras is, basically.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Back to the costuming. The king's helmet is dumb.
That's real bad.
That's what well, okay, I should say this. The King's helmet in the games is a bit different.
It's
Okay,
it's-
also-
it's full face cover.
Also, I'd
but
like to point out, in the game, when did Warcraft come out?
Warcraft came out in the 90s.
Okay, Warcraft came out in the 90s. That's the extent of the technology they had.
Yeah.
This is a real-ass person they put a helmet on, and they looked at that and went, we gotta stay true to the game, not,
Yeah.
let's make a cool fucking helmet.
I think the helmet's fine. It's the fact that it rides up on his head.
It is a
And
little
they-
plasticky.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very plastic.
They-
Yeah. Make no mistake.
I'm cool with the over-the-top design. It is when the swords wobble a bunch when they put them in the ground in a way that only aluminum foil and plastic can.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's a plastic sword, but maybe let's
Well,
just be gentle with our
The main
guys.
problem is like the human stuff is practical, right? And
Yeah.
then comparatively, all the orc stuff is CGI, and it looks way better.
Yeah.
Because this movie should have just been a
This should have been a
full
Blizzard
3D
in-house cinematic.
CGI. Yeah,
Yeah,
should've
it
been.
all should have been CGI, because it was also, like, really jarring, like, really early on in the film, seeing our Lothar right next to our, like, random dwarf.
I'd argue seeing Garona next to all of the orcs was the one, like,
Yeah, that
first
one's
jarring
rough.
moment.
The difference in the in Iron Forge that really messed with me.
That didn't bother me because I knew that had to be CGI. You know, and it felt cartoony in the way that it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the dwarves didn't need to be CGI.
No, you could have just had
no.
normal.
you
Lord
could
of
have just
the
had.
Rings
You could have
did.
just
It's
Lord
been
of the
done
Rings.
before.
Yeah,
It's been done
absolutely.
before plenty of times.
Well, and that's a thing
For
that
cheaper too.
Yeah.
that's the thing I want to talk about is the CGI in this movie isn't really bad.
No, it's good.
Like unless it's
I
running
would-
up against
I would-
people.
I would wager to say it is good.
Yeah, it's good CGI. It's actually very good CGI in a lot of places. Yeah, the practical stuff sucks though. There was a point where I was looking at the ground and I was like, "Those plants are fake. That's a fake fern. I can tell that from here. I can tell that that's a
their
fake
money
fern."
is weird because
Yeah.
like the plants fake, obviously. That library, they spent a lot of time on those books.
Yeah,
Someone by hand did all of those books.
In
yeah.
all fairness, they spend a decent they go back to that set quite
Which
a few
makes
times.
sense.
Yeah.
It's
the
a
first time we
good-
got there, I was like, why are we spending so much money here? Because
It's
this is lovely.
It's a good set though.
Mhm.
Like there are parts of this movie that look awesome, and then there are parts of it that look
Yeah,
like
which
garbage.
makes it all the more jarring.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like, 'cause that's what got me about the movie. It's I think partly because there should have probably been some stuff cut, because the Warcraft game is a little much to put in one movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of plot points, and I think you can see that, especially in the beginning, where it feels like we're playing whack-a-mole with how many different locations can we hit at once. Because they have to, throw out all this story very quickly to get to the end.
This movie has a problem with doing, like, hey, you know this place. Like, one of my things is, why the fuck is the king in some podunk inn in Goldshire?
Yeah, why
when
would he be in Goldshire?
Why would he be in Goldshire ever, when he should just be, like, in the castle or something?
Maybe he wants
Yeah.
to tie a load on before he signs some documents.
Well, listen,
they said there were things going
Goldshire
on.
has like 3 buildings in it.
yeah.
Yeah, but the they did
I will
that
say
so they could
this.
have the townsfolk are being attacked, and we're here to fix it.
If the king is going to the Moonguard servers version of Goldshire, which anyone who's played World of Warcraft, Jake might even know, he was smiling. But do you know about the Moonguard? What the Moonguard server is?
Is that the RP server?
Yes, that's the.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
So if he's going to that and getting some sexy stripper time and roleplay like text stuff, then that makes sense. I get why the king would go there. These are jokes for a select few amount of people.
It's more people than you'd think. I'm almost positive.
Yeah. I'm curious about your guys' points though. I'm curious to.
I wrote down pacing in quotation marks, especially in the early parts of the movie. This is a jarring fucking pace that this movie keeps, and it slows down and speeds up, like, at a moment's notice.
I would say that there are two lines. We're following two different races at once.
We are.
The human one is so slow it hurts.
Yeah.
And the orc one is actually paced pretty quickly.
A little breakneck.
Yeah.
It's a little breakneck. I'd argue it's paced way better though.
Oh, yeah, that's way better.
No, I mean it. I'd rather watch an orc movie.
Or like literally just.
That too.
I think it needs one protagonist because there were it should have focused on.
No,
one.
there was one protagonist, and then you had a bunch of people trying to decide who the protagonist was on the other side of the story.
Yeah.
The orc story had one protagonist.
Yeah, it had
I
one
loved him and
distinct
his wife.
person to watch.
Because Duratan's cool.
Duratan and Draka were.
Yeah.
I
Duratan's
would have
awesome.
loved to just see Duratan and Draka dealing with the uprising.
Yeah.
And so is Ogrim, and Blackhand's a pretty good secondary villain to Gul'dan. Gul'dan's great. Gul'dan, I will say his voice isn't nearly as good as it is in the game.
I've heard his voice in the games. His VA in the games kicks ass. Not that this guy did a bad
he didn't
job
do a
by
bad
any
job,
means,
but
didn't care for him?
No, I didn't mind him at all. I liked him.
Didn't mind him. I thought you said you didn't like him.
No.
I was like,
That's kind
damn.
of the point.
I've never heard Sam get that incensed about.
No, I liked him a lot.
But that being said, I'm sure that did great in Chinese audiences because that what's his name again?
Daniel Wu.
Yeah, Daniel Wu. He's been on a ton of.
I'm gonna make sure before I say it wrong.
Yeah.
Daniel Wu. Yeah. Into the Badlands fan.
Okay.
Among other things.
That's probably why they
Into the
made that
Badlands
change
fan.
then, was to get a little bit of like that.
This movie did so well in China.
It did a ton of money in China. It didn't. Did it? Am I wrong in remembering that it didn't do as good in the United States?
I don't think it does good here. No.
No, it did not do well here. I don't think it was in theaters for very long either.
All the humans had very this is going on performance. All the humans had extremely wooden deliveries.
Yeah.
With the exception of Mage Kid, I thought his deliveries were
Right.
actually pretty believable.
Yeah, I kind of wish they had just chosen one protagonist for that side, and I wanted it to be Baby Mage.
Well, he's supposed to be. That's his coming of age story.
Yeah, it's his coming. It's his coming of his power. I did not like Lothar at all, and he just kept giving me more and more reasons to not like him at all.
They
What's
had a lot
the
of
guard captain?
the Queen's brother.
Okay, yeah.
There are a lot of mixed vibes about Lothar because I could not decide how I felt about him. Early on, I had him pegged: is he a baddie?
No.
Followed by, no, he's just creepy. Followed by, oh no, he's just sad.
I should mention that. That's a weird thing that this movie does is that him and Garona have like sort of a romance, but not really.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Hold on. A specific way because I was really proud of my own dumb joke.
Okay.
It was no romance, only backstory.
Yeah.
They're like star-crossed whatevers at the end of it, you know?
Star-crossed coworkers.
Well, literally, whenever she's like trying to kiss him, hug him, comfort him,
There's
all at the
no
same time.
chemistry.
He
There's
doesn't
no.
give a
Well,
shit.
I was gonna say it's like that scene at one of Heavy Rain's endings where it's like Ethan's crying at his son's grave, and then Madison's like, "I want you to have a baby with me."
Oh, yeah.
it's like that.
It is. It
it's
is.
like the David Cage level of writing in that moment.
It is. It very much is that.
But it's also weird because Grona's Medivh's lover, like.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and-
weird.
and-
Is
yeah.
that why the flower thing?
I
Just a random
guess.
flower?
I don't know.
I got very confused during
Because I
that
kept
part.
waiting
I'm
for
not
the
gonna
"Are
lie to
you my dad" moment.
No.
No, because as soon as we started going to that Lothar romance, it did confuse me a little bit because of that.
Grona, fun fact, not half human, half other alien race.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I expected "Are you my dad?" Because
Yeah.
we set up all my mother was clearly an orc, but my father was not, followed by, well, I had a lover, but she wasn't one of my own race. And then they end that conversation with, here, have a flower. Bye-bye.
Well, it should be said that Medivh fucked around a lot. Presumably. That's not confirmed. I'm reading into the subtext here. Medivh probably went around the multiverse and fucked.
I did not get that from his characterization.
Maybe not in here, but I trust Jackson's characterization through the games.
Did not get that energy.
Not in the movie.
Man.
No, not at all. He seems very sad. He's depressed.
He's a lonely man.
In all fairness, he's depressed in the games, too. He's a real emo dude.
Yeah, but there's emo with game, and then there's just emo sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude definitely came off as emo sad. At one point...
Most of the non-orc guys are kind of creepy in this movie, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Except for the kid's fine.
Yeah.
The young
Khadgar's
fine.
Khadgar literally has no...
The king isn't
the king's
too
great,
bad. The king is actually fine.
And Callan, you look at them, they both walk on screen and you go, oh no, you're both gonna die.
Yeah.
As soon as you see
them.
them.
The king's far too competent not to die.
He's too competent and just too sweet in the face.
Yeah.
The same as Callan, you look at this little
child,
child and go, oh no, you're just gonna make Lothar even sadder, aren't you?
I want to say something about that. His son's death seemed to be more of an inconvenience. And
his son's
death.
Who cares?
Yeah, I also do. I could not give a shit.
I felt I mean, kid dying. I feel bad, but I don't feel bad for Lothar. I feel bad for the kid. Real quick on that note, I watched that and I literally wrote down, if they're killing this kid, it better pay off with the big battle later. And then it decidedly didn't. I marked that note out because that end honor battle, one hit down. Boring as hell.
Oh no, I loved that. I'm gonna hard disagree with you. I loved that they just no-sold the shit out of that big orc guy. He died he got literally his balls sliced in half.
Yeah,
he died.
My last note is dick slice.
He died in the most unceremonious way possible. I thought that was great. I hated that fuck. I'm glad he's dead.
But the problem is, I think because it happened at the end, it felt like, okay, guys, we gotta wrap this movie up, baby.
No, I didn't mind that because of all the other things surrounding that moment.
I actually agree with Rachel. That last scene is kind of like, all right, come on, this is the last thread we got. Let's go. We gotta cut this thread, cut the ball.
It honestly feels like they forgot that there was that animosity, and they had to go back and be like, shit, we gotta tie that up. We gotta ignore all the other plot holes. You gotta tie this bad.
We gotta kill Blackhead. He's gotta be dead by the next movie.
He can't come back.
No, and then also Lothar and Medivh arguing in front of the king. I feel like you could take that exact dialogue and put it in a bad rom-com about two people fighting over a lover that felt very well, of course you would say that.
It did have strong couple energy, strong couple fight energy. Yeah.
It was well, what has he done for you? Where were you the last 3 years? He was just very petty on both ends.
I mean, it makes sense.
And I'm not sure as a king, I would have gone with either of them on their advice.
Well, one of them's a big bad wizard, and one of them is your brother-in-law.
Yeah. True, the king is trapped between a rock and a hard place.
I'd like to say something that is digging into my own knowledge of Warcraft a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. Your knowledge of all
orcs
are thrall and all humans are Arthas.
Yeah, speaking of that, no Lich King not interested.
Arthas hey,
he's really
wait
cool.
until the third movie.
He's the only character I really know about in the entirety of Warcraft. And that's because he's really cool.
Really yeah, dude.
He's not there though. So if you're in I was thinking that maybe you'd get a little wink and a nudge toward him, stay home.
No. There are plenty of winks and nudges in this movie.
Sure, but none of them are for me, a man who's never played the game and has no real nostalgia towards it.
As someone with a lot of nostalgia, I can definitely enjoy the movie.
Yeah. But what were you saying?
That was pretty much it.
You said you're digging into your limited Warcraft.
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like Arthas. I'm kind of sad that he's not in this movie.
Yeah, no, he doesn't show up until the.
Yeah, I know he doesn't show up until that one, but he's still cool.
I agree, he's very cool. We could talk about how cool Arthas is all day, but we got to talk about this movie.
Yeah, I know.
This is a prequel to the game.
This is the first game.
This is the
very first Warcraft RTS.
So the very first. Okay.
So World of Warcraft is the MMO. That's where you get to play characters within it. Warcraft originally was its own story game, RTS, hero based I forget the actual term for that. But it was like, it's like an RTS game.
Uh-huh.
And then after like 3 of those, they made World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like Warcraft came out around.
And
It
in
came
between
out-
there, they decided to make a real video game called StarCraft.
Well, so it was Warcraft 1, 2,
Two,
StarCraft, Warcraft 3.
These are all part of the same continuity,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, it's a linear line.
Tracks,
Then
can't
World
be
of
wrong.
Warcraft.
Then Overwatch.
Yeah, then Overwatch.
And then, weirdly enough, Destiny, Call of Duty comes after Destiny for some reason. And then Diablo.
Yeah.
That one I know.
Oh, I forgot about Diablo. Yeah, Diablo would have come out before.
Diablo, weirdly enough, falls in between Destiny and Call of Duty, and then Diablo 2 is right after Destiny, but right before World of Warcraft.
Diablo 2 would have. Diablo 1 and 2 would have come out before Warcraft 3. But anyway, sorry, continue. This isn't about those.
Okay, so this is a
Kind of
prequel.
is.
The only thing I have any kind of knowledge of whatsoever is like the first 2 hours of World of Warcraft.
I made her play for a little bit.
I've tried like 3 separate times to get into World of Warcraft, and as much as I like the world,
Yeah.
I like roaming around. I just can't get into gameplay, but that's just a me problem. But that being said, so I know nothing. So this kid, Khadgar, as much as I like little Magey Baby, what's with his little LoJack tattoo?
Yeah,
Kirin
that
Tor?
was amazing,
His little
yeah.
MacGuffin tattoo?
Okay, so the Kirin Tor is a magical organization in the Warcraft universe. They're like magical agents.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Are they the magical FBI?
Secret Agent Mage?
Sort
Magical
of.
CIA?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Magical ATM?
They're the magical organization. That's all that
Magical
matters.
A-team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the magical organization.
Okay.
Also, that part of me bothers me. Their city, the Mage City, should not be floating yet. It
No.
should still be flat in the ground.
So they did that
Yeah.
purely just for like,
Yeah,
Cool,
wow
absolutely.
people.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because it does float later. I was like, oh, look at this.
Okay.
Okay.
But at this point, it should be on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So that's what's up with this Meiji
his
tattoo.
magic Meiji Geiger counter
Yeah,
that just
I'm
found
glad
the
that
MacGuffin
we
he
went
needed.
for the same
Exact
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Where he just was in a room full of books and went, oh, this is the one
Okay.
that I need.
I should not.
Or was that because of the weird shadow
I-
lady, which comes up later?
I should
which
say
also have
this.
questions on?
His magic tattoo lighting up. I might be forgetting something. I don't think that is ever a thing
Ever?
in any of the
I
games.
think this is
that's
just convenience.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that's just to move the plot
It was
along.
preceded by the magic shadow lady from the box, which shows
Yeah,
up
the,
once and then towards the end. Both times. to just be,
I
"Let's
think
get
you're
this
giving
going."
I think you're giving it a reason. No, I think the way he reacted to it, this was like, yeah, it was a magic Geiger counter. I think they were just trying, again, like Jack said, I think they were trying to move the plot along.
Well,
But that I have less of an issue with as someone who grew up with Lord of the Rings and the magic shining sword that tells you when orcs are nearby.
no, because that makes sense. That is one function for that sword to have specifically
That
with
sword,
evil magic.
That sword would have been
Well,
so helpful in this
specifically
movie.
orc magic.
Yeah.
However, the magical Geiger counter showed up suddenly after the magical lady in black shows up. That points him to the exact
Well,
book
it
that
started
he needs.
glowing. He had it.
Yeah,
No,
he
and
had
it,
prior.
well, no, he had it, but then it would flare quite literally when he lined up with the one book that he needed, which did not happen until after Shadow Lady came in. And then later on, once he shows up at the council, gets yelled at like a cat on a table, get out of here, get!
Yeah. Can we pause? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your thought,
Go
but
for
I do want to pause for just that scene. That scene's great. That's probably the best scene in the whole movie because just the unceremonious nature of how he was told to get out, it really felt like people just being like, are you fucking kidding me?
Leave.
Go home, dude. Fucking.
left.
I remember now my note that just says fucking leave was about.
I really enjoy that entire kind of thing because he walks in and as the viewer you're expecting like this big grand entrance and they're just like, dude, you ditched us, you can't come back to the treehouse, and then they get back there and it's like, I don't actually know what that is, and it really humanizes these like shining eye mages.
Well, that's what I'm getting back to, because he shows up at the council, he throws out some keywords, they're like, you're not supposed to know that, and they take him immediately into the super secret chamber with the magic black box
Yeah.
that is spinning,
Mhm.
that it suddenly stops and a door opens, and they're
Yeah.
like, huh, that's new. Do I go in? I don't know. It's never done that before. Exact line from movie. Word for word.
Yeah.
He walks into Magic Dark Box, and we see Shadow Lady again, who just drops knowledge on him that he takes at face value,
Yeah.
even though her eyes are also glowing green.
Well, it's because she's the first
She's the first guardian. She also got corrupted by fell energy.
And that is a fact that I'm supposed to know?
No! I think you could at least interpret, like, oh, it's the first guardian. You might be able to get that.
No!
It's absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not.
Jack, I'm getting the distinct feeling that this movie was made for two of us at this table, and it is not Sam or Jake.
No, I enjoyed the movie.
Also,
I'll be
fun
honest.
fact, the first guardian was a dude elf, not a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But,
they changed some things, apparently. But from someone who knows nothing about the lore, Magic Black Spinny Box in the secret mage organization this kid has already revoked his rights to be a part of. Only goes to as a last-ditch effort. Strange shadow lady crouching in a corner like a horrible Blair Witch creature. Sitting staring in the pools, looks up at him, says, "Hey, you know what you gotta do. Something's up," very clearly says you're going to have to kill the current guardian. And Kagdar's like, I can do.
Hey, look, I mean, I can't blame him for that response. Like, if someone like that told me to do that, I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm doing
Also,
this.
he kind of already knew he needed to do it. I think he just needed that, you got this, buddy.
Well, the big question is, if I'm supposed to kill someone corrupted by fell magic, what the fuck are you doing here in this black box? Why can't he come hang out with you?
I don't know.
Well, because she was the first one, and she trapped herself in the box, maybe? I don't fucking know.
Trapped with the door that opens, I will.
Listen, this scene serves the purpose, like, we gotta see Dollar. We gotta get all these locations in there.
Yeah, it's super important.
Well, but if she's supposed to be dead because I have been corrupted as well, she's hiding the black box, and she can open at any point whenever she feels like it. Also, she can project a shadow image of herself to this baby mage. This one baby mage who is the chosen one, apparently.
Yeah, Khadgar's kind of the chosen one. He's not as much as the chosen one as Green Jesus, but
Are you talking about...
Corona, or are you talking about Golden?
Are you talking about
Golden?
Green Moses, perhaps?
well, he becomes Green Jesus.
Okay, that's good. So we run the whole... Is that who I think it is?
Yeah, that's the role.
Okay, alright, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So he is... I do know a little about him. He's
the most important
He
person.
is the most important. Wait, hold on. Isn't the most important person now that elf chick?
Sylvanas?
Yeah.
Yeah, they pushed Sylvanas super hard.
Is she WoW's Kerrigan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes!
That's
exactly
really unfortunate.
that.
I'm so sorry you have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's terrible. Blizzard doesn't know how to write characters anymore.
Sounds like they don't have to write one character.
Well,
No, at one point they knew how to write more than one.
yeah, at one point. Not anymore.
I would argue they don't even know how to write one character anymore. It's
Yeah.
just...
They try.
They really try. No, they get obsessed. We're not talking about... That'll be a separate podcast.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be a podcast entitled Jake and Jack shit on Kerrigan and Sylvanas for 4 hours.
Can I guest star?
Sure.
Yeah,
Everybody can.
Yeah, anyone can guess.
If you got an axe to grind against Blizzard Entertainment, write in at the comment section.
I'm reading through my notes. I'm trying to decipher what some of them mean, because most of the time I'll just write what pops into my head as the note for that. And one of my notes is fucking got him, and I finally remember what that was. Whenever Khadgar gets thrown up against the wall and Lothar goes to pick him up, and then
he just
kinda
leaves him?
just leaves him. I was like, damn, that's so unnecessary.
He's just... I don't like him.
Well, he's so
Lothar?
inconsistent throughout the whole
in the
movie.
movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
his
like
character's
him.
super inconsistent.
Our first interaction with him is him staring down the barrel of a gun, not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Which just sets him up as being an idiot. And then they make him this brilliant commander.
You can be good at one thing.
Well, is he though?
He's also just not likable at any point in this film.
And there were
No, he's
moments
not.
where I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. You are a tragic, angsty hero boy. And then something else happens. And well, now you're just creepy.
Also,
Most of the time he's creepy.
yeah, he's just...
Is he a character in the game? Is he someone you care about
I
normally?
don't remember, to be honest. I remember most of the other characters. Lothar, I don't remember.
I remember Lothar.
Well, and then halfway towards... They renamed him towards the end. Anduin Lothar, right at the end.
Well, that's
his first name.
Yeah, but they waited until the last third of the movie to drop his first name.
Well, they need to do that to be like, it's this character, in case you forgot.
I mean, they waited to the last third, though?
Well, it's like, let me think. They wait to drop Doomhammer's name, even though it's super obvious it's him, because Doomhammer's bald and carries a giant fucking Doom hammer with him everywhere. Yeah, Lothar sucks.
Okay.
Most of the human characters suck in this.
Yeah.
Waiting for them to come around, and they'd be like, well, this is the, calcifying moment for your character. And this is
No.
where we settle in exactly who you are.
You give
But
this
he
movie a
wiggles
lot of
back
credit.
and forth. Because, like, in the fight in the library, when he's fighting the golem, he loses his boots. He's mostly the comedic element in that fight.
Yeah, actually, that's weird. His character takes a huge comedic shift towards the end of the movie.
Well, because he would go back and forth. Because there's the
Well,
gun
actually,
that was funny.
there's a reason for that. I just realized. It's because him and Khadgar switch places and being comedic and being the hero.
So only one of them.
Yeah,
Only one of them can be comedic.
So Khadgar
according to
should have
this
been our
movie.
hero since the beginning.
Well, yeah, he should have been, but
I have an explanation
Also,
for this.
sorry.
You go first.
And Lothar's he's the like commander of like the army.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't recall him becoming king though. I'm pretty sure that the king's son becomes king.
Well, the
Yeah,
king's son
Varian
was
King.
like 10.
Well, Varian becomes king eventually. I know
And if
that
this is
much.
the first game, well then that makes
Yeah.
sense. He'd be king regent or something.
Yeah, I guess yeah. He's the supreme like commander of stuff.
But Varian also way cooler.
He might have been
of
like the Lord
character.
Regent. It's been forever since
Yeah.
I've even
He
looked at
dual
games.
wields swords and also has a big old scar.
That's
But once again, this isn't about him. This is about
No, he's
Warcraft the
10.
movie.
No scar there.
Yeah,
you know?
no scar yet.
Jack,
and no cool double swords.
Jack, I have a question for you, and
Okay.
Rachel, you can also chime in on this because you
Absolutely.
both played the games. What would someone be better off doing, watching this movie or watching a cutscene compilation?
Oh, watching a
Cutscene compilation,
Yeah, way better.
5,000%.
I said it before we started the movie. Just watch the like World of Warcraft cinematics that they release. It's like
It's really
way better
good,
of
yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
it's
a
way
better,
cooler.
It's a better experience by far.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. You should do that.
Just wanted to get that
And you don't
out
have
into
to
the
deal with
ether.
the subpar costumes that we see.
Yeah, you don't
in-
have to deal with real humans.
I'm not
Yeah.
bothered by the costumes. It
They're
felt cartoony
bad.
in the way it was supposed to, though.
I don't know.
I wouldn't have wanted them to be hyper realistic.
I
And
wanted
given
bigger
the
shoulder
given the
pads.
Yeah.
board game,
I
that
need
is the
Colorful.
bigger
board
shoulder
game,
pads.
well, they had to go through any of the doorways. No doorways could have been entered if they had the appropriate.
Oh,
shoulder
fairness,
pads.
all the
That's
doorways
true.
all doorways in this movie are incredibly large.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
No. Also, I really, and again, this is like very much like more kind of first game kind of thing. However, this is made way after the fact, and we reference a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, there are tons of references.
Yeah, there's tons of references to the modern years. The fact I didn't get to see more of the other races kind of bummed me out.
Yeah,
I
I mean
hate
that's just because they don't get introduced until later. I
No,
mean, yeah, it
yeah.
sucks,
But no, wait. If we introduced other races on top of all the hopping we did between the orcs and just the humans,
That's a good point.
it would have had to have been way longer than the 2 hours this movie was.
Yes, 2
Yeah, 2
hours.
hours.
It's like 2 hours and 6 minutes or something.
I either would not have known where anything was or who anybody was had we
Then I
anywhere else.
guess I wish the movie was better than it would have gotten a sequel.
in all fairness, this movie getting a sequel, by the way, is not out of the realm of possibility. It made enough money.
Yeah,
where
it hasn't been
that's-
that long since it came out.
Yeah.
It set itself up for a sequel pretty nicely.
Yeah,
Well,
the
yeah.
sequel's Warcraft 2.
Two.
You can play it
I know, but
right
yeah,
now.
it exists.
You can go watch
Yeah.
the cut. We can pause the podcast, watch the cutscenes. We know what happens.
Yeah, you're right. I'll just go do that.
Yeah. I got a dumb thing to talk about.
Okay.
It's cool if we pivot to a dumb thing.
Go for it, Doug.
We've been talking about a dumb thing this entire time.
Yeah.
That's
Hey.
what this podcast is covering.
Yeah. But this is a super dumb thing.
All right.
I talked about in my notes Inventor of Gun.
Yeah.
And so when Gun shows up in the third act,
Mhm.
man, that is why guns in a fantasy setting can be a real problem, because those humans went from not being able to do much to just
being able to shoot
slaughtering
people.
those orcs, dude. They stood no fucking chance once guns got involved. They took one shot and they were down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
Except for the bit where they ran out of powder in there.
yeah, there weren't many of them left at that point. They were
Yeah, most of them-
outnumbered.
most of them
Most of them had
got
gone to the gate.
They helped equate things, though.
Yeah.
You know? But good gun. Good blunderbuss.
Good
I'm glad they
blunderbuss.
went with the blunderbuss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
Well, if
had,
they had gone with anything else, the orcs wouldn't have stood a chance because they could have fired
Yeah,
it
if they'd
from
gone with
300 feet away, and the orcs would have thrown a hammer and just gotten shot in the fucking...
Say
Man,
they're-
could you imagine? Hold on, I want to paint a picture for everybody. The orcs invade 300 years later than they do in this, and what's his name? Gul'dan just gets
Gul'dan.
shot in the head from 50 yards away, and that's the whole movie. Roll Star Wars theme at the end.
So you're saying if the humans have just brought in the M16, it
I'm
wouldn't have been
saying-
a problem.
I'm saying that yes, if the humans had had a few more years of like, if the dwarves,
The
sorry,
dwarves
the
had-
dwarves invented it.
Yeah.
But if they had a few more decades, this movie would not have happened. This would have been essentially, it would have been good for the orcs. It would have been a slaughter, a massacre, one might say.
Yeah, and Alex Sam said it was an equalizer because they were having a really hard time with their aluminum shield technology.
Well, unless it was a main character, then you were cutting through those boys like butter, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Until you weren't. Until the movie needed to kill you.
Yeah.
It does bring us to the final scenes, which I had a whole page worth of, like...
Yeah, I had some not questions, but I had some feelings watching that.
Because I knew nothing.
All right,
I went into this movie going, I'm going to have a good time. Because that's the only way to go into any kind of movie. You're just hoping you're going to have a good time.
Hard disagree. You can totally go into a movie and be like, this is going to be fucking terrible. Because I sat down and watched Ready Player One going, this is going to be fucking terrible. And you know what? It was fucking terrible.
Yeah, the difference is I want to have a good time.
I wanted to have a good time too. I wanted to be proven wrong. I just knew I wasn't going to
I'm never
be.
happy if I wait for someone to prove me wrong. That was the thing. I just want to hope it's going to be good. But I was enjoying this movie, all things considered, right up until the very, very end.
Okay, what's your problems with the ending?
My big issue was right at the end when it gets sort of slow-mo around the one area where they're all circled in.
You know when they're talking and the world slows down around
Well, that happens and the king turns to Corona and goes like, only one of us, we're not going to make it out of here. But there's no reason for us both to die.
Yeah.
Clearly, you've only got one thing you can do, which is kill me. To which I go, what? And he goes, you have to do it. And he makes sure she sees the knife that was given to her by his wife. You know, it's like, it'd be a great honor for you to kill me, right? So then I go, what? Because I don't know in what universe that they have established with these orcs that are so, like, concerned and focused on tradition and honor. They won't even interfere in an honor-bound death match. And that you have to finish said honor-bound death match, and the fact that they're, like, Gul'dan cheated was an issue with them, but they feared for their lives enough that that was the only reason they listened to him at the end there, and even enough of a reason for them to doubt him constantly after the fact. They would approve of a half-orc who had been Gul'dan's slave for a very long time prior to that, stabbing someone in the back, and that would be an honorable kill.
In all fairness, it was a human, and it was the king.
Does that matter?
No, but also
because later on they prove it wrong when they have Lothar fight.
This is another thing. It's like we got to kill the king because that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Which I get, but that one moment made me so confused because then they immediately like crowd surfer to the back.
That was super stupid. That was really dumb.
They watched her kill this man, went dope, picked her up. Slid her across the whole battlefield, dropped her at Gul'dan's feet, who went, oh, yes, you're one of us now.
Well, fairness, out of everyone, Gul'dan would give a shit. He would just be happy that the king was dead.
He was the one who's like, now you're one of us. I see that you are wearing armor that clearly has their insignia on it. I've watched you slaughter plenty of our people. No question. Apparently, this was deep, deep subterfuge you were doing, that you led them here to us. Yeah. This brilliant, like... deep spy thought process you had going here, Corona. I approve.
With the exception of the war chiefs and Gul'dan, most of the orcs are pretty fucking stupid.
I'm just like, the ones who mattered were the war chiefs and Gul'dan, and they were the ones who went, yes, you are now one of us. I recognize that you have a place here, so that so when she speaks out, at the end, when Lothar has his kill match, defeats Blackhand and gets to waltz out of there, hopping on the Bird of Doom, and picking up his king's body.
That griffin fucks people up.
That griffin has a higher body count than anyone else in the movie. There is a point where it rips an orc's head off and just throws it to the side because it doesn't care. If they had sent 3 griffins, there would be no Warcraft 2. That bird did so much work. It killed 40 fucking people. There was a point where one of the orcs looked at it after that guy had his head ripped off and backed the fuck off. Yeah. It was a great background gag. Yeah. One of the few things I thought this movie did well was showing off the pure rage that is just in a bird, and we should be glad that they are smaller than us.
Also, side note, just on the topic of animals having a higher body count, also, like, Lothar's horse.
Horses are used very effectively as weapons in this movie.
Both physically throwing
This
them?
movie fucking hates horses. There's so many horse deaths.
There's a lot of horse deaths.
No. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I've got a general idea of like the timeline of Warcraft and the lore in general. I cannot for the life of me remember, and I mean like the entire kind of game series. I cannot for the life of me remember exactly how Warcraft ends because it has been a long time since I've touched it. My issue with that scene was not the fact that they
It was counter to the entire culture that they created.
No, that didn't bother me as much. What bothered me was the concept of this king going, "You have to kill me. It's the only way we're gonna get peace between the humans and the orcs?"
Which, by the way,
it
barely fucking happens, and when it does happen, it's only to serve a higher purpose.
Yeah. That got me.
Like,
that
I liked the
confused
king
me.
up until that moment. And it's like, okay. And I sat there and I was writing things down while things were going on, trying to justify it. Because if it was clear that she had killed him with her gifted blade, then that would make the orcs stop fighting for a moment and rally, be like, oh yes, now you can stay alive. Because it seemed to be more of a Garona, you don't have to die here in this moment. You can be someone who is for my people, within these people. You're the one who wants peace on both sides. You've seen the benefit of it. Now I have someone within the orc camp that truly does want peace. Would be the only way I could justify that moment.
Let's look at this through a different lens.
Okay.
The king gets to battle.
Yeah.
Sees, man, this shit sucks. I don't want to be king anymore. Hey, can you kill me real quick so my son can do it?
That's horrible.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's another way to justify that.
That's even worse.
I mean, this movie does have a lot of hatred towards blood-related sons, so yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
There's only one good father in the entire fucking movie.
Side note, back to the hatred of sons. That was a weird drop of information that had no other context from Lothar. When he's all drunk, he's like, I hated him for the first. I blamed him. That's weird to just. I don't know what that was.
That fit his character entirely.
I'm gonna also go out here and say that if I were to lore drop my own life, it would definitely be while I was sauced, and that dude was.
Oh, but he wasn't
sauced.
sauced. He wasn't sauced enough because he slides off of that bar top
perfectly. Yeah,
it's
really
sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes when you are drunk, you roll an @20. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes you cut right through that neg 4 and get up to.
That's also being propped up by the bar.
That scene is so awful and unnecessary.
Yep.
2 cardboard cutouts would have done that scene better.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they tried to mash them together, and it was really weird to watch.
It was just very uncomfortable.
You ever seen a grown man sob as a woman tries to get him off? It's not a fun thing to watch.
So this movie, I think, tried to make us watch it twice.
Yeah.
On a more positive note, I love how they did magic, the casting in this film.
Yeah, once again.
I was perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, CGI is great. I can't... The CGI team take a bow, because,
Also, I got my sheep spell, y'all.
You did get your sheep
I got my sheep spell.
They did the polymorph.
And they did
love it.
The comedy with Lothar again, because he thought he did it for a second there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I was too excited about Khadgar using the sheep spell.
He threw something at the guard, and then he turned into a sheep, and you watch him look at his hand in shock.
This is when I stopped paying attention to Lothar.
I just realized the point where he gets locked up in prison, and the point where Khadgar goes into the box and meets his destiny is the exact point they swap characters completely.
Absolutely.
They're both put into the personality change box at the same time.
They transferred souls.
Oh, soul transfer, yes.
I liked Khadgar's section so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Khadgar's probably one of 2 characters. One of the non-orc characters, the only good non-orc character.
Khadgar is one of my favorite characters in the game. He's a fucking huge dork,
that comes across really well.
But he's also really powerful.
I like that. I like huge dorks who are also really powerful.
Also kind of useless.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
So long as that is how he's supposed to be, because I did have down. He had that horrible moment during the fireside bonding moment, where he finds it appropriate to drop his lore in a way that doesn't make any sense.
They have, they do that back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do it with,
they have 3.
Corona,
they have 3 unnecessary lore drops that all come at, real inopportune times.
They wanted to put him in there somewhere. I would allow Coronas in a moment, just because that was sort of as much shoehorning as they possibly could to sort of justify who she is and why she's there.
Yeah.
Even though, at that point, I didn't care. I liked her. I was cool with her being there at that moment. But then we bring in, after she says about the horrible way that she has been living her life, he brings in, Yeah, it was really beneficial for my family that I made it into the super secret mage society.
You know what I was
very
thinking
talented
of?
special boy, and then I went, no, never mind.
You know what I was thinking of while they were doing that? I couldn't fucking get that scene in Top Secret out of my head.
thinking
I was
the same
talking
thing.
about Macy.
Yeah.
So I was like, that is that moment, but played serious.
Yeah, it is. It is it's the same fucking scene.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking
Yeah,
scene.
and I feel like that could have been shown a lot better in the film, like when he goes back or something.
Yeah.
If even the Guardian, Maldeep, had been like, you ruined your potential,
Yeah, and then be like, oh, the potential that my parents basically sold me to this thing would have been a better intro.
Yeah.
Not just random. What is with campfire lore drops and them just generally being not
True.
great?
That happened in
People
Wild
want
Wild
Bond.
West, too.
It did.
And it was just...
Also, Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean,
Bad movies really love this trope, dude.
Yeah.
I think all movies like this trope,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
bad,
but bad
movies
movies
especially
love
love
it.
it.
But that is where else do you have the moment where you get to have a bunch of people sitting in the dark with nothing else to do other than, I guess I'll talk about myself.
While you're having sex with someone, apparently.
Yeah.
That's the perfect moment if it's not going to be by a bonfire. By the way, that lore drop comes right after Khadgar stared directly at Garota's boobs. I should point that out.
Yeah.
We go from that scene immediately to the lore drop.
Well, because
Yeah.
that scene happens right after I have the note that his Queen's brother is creepy. Because that's when he's
Yeah.
armoring her up, and that's also a creepy moment. That's
Yeah.
What
not.
was the point of that scene? It was just weird.
I didn't like it.
Also, that kind of leads into another point of mine.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
I know that, like, perhaps, no, they had enough money. Never mind. No, I don't know. I don't know why. This is a large kingdom.
Yeah.
This is a king and the head of his like, supreme commander of the army.
Yeah.
And there are no manservants or, like, ladies in waiting that could have done that for her.
No,
It had to be the supreme commander, and that's kind of throughout the entire thing. I just spent a lot of time. The only time we see like servants is with the queen.
who I love.
Everywhere else in this
Really?
castle,
Really? You love
I
the
did.
queen?
I did.
The completely pointless character, the queen?
I liked her.
She was there for like 3 moments in the entire movie.
The few moments she was there, she's like, would you stop being an idiot? And then later on, she's like, look, I'm just trying to be nice to you. And follow that up with like, look, I understand that you don't trust us, but I'm gonna reach out to you. Every time she's doing something that's totally reasonable for her station. And I liked her.
I
Alright.
hated how they did that character.
Okay. What would you have done differently? Because I liked her, okay.
Just not have her.
I didn't
No,
expect
I-
much from her.
Established
it
that there
feels-
is a queen. You don't need to have her in the scenes.
Or like a couple. It just felt very like, I don't know. And all the characters are pretty cardboard cut out. Yes, but like the queen is almost like
Except for the orcs. I'll give the
No, the orcs not at all.
the
The
Orcs are
better
great.
part of the movie.
the orcs
Yeah.
are definitely the best
Is
part of
this
the
why
movie.
people go Horde over Alliance?
Hey.
Probably.
Yeah,
I'm a dedicated Alliance player. Thank you very
I don't
much.
know what any of this
But yes.
means.
I play Horde.
Also, because Sylvanas is hot.
That's fair though.
I play Protoss.
I play Terran.
Oh, it's also cool.
Yeah.
It's not a bad choice, really.
No.
I have one more like serious sort of thing to say.
Okay.
The editing in this movie is a nightmare. Like it is.
Yeah.
You could chop 30 minutes off this movie, and it would be a better film.
Pretty much every scene of the humans, actually.
You could chop. Well, you could
Not all
chop.
of them, but
Not
a good
all of them,
portion.
but a lot of them.
You could chop a lot of that out. You could chop out.
No, I like the editing in this movie for one reason. It's because it's if you get up real close to it and you give it a little whiff, you waft it in a little bit. It's
Yeah.
like, what is that? Early 2000s? Is that the early 2000s on this movie?
Yeah. It does.
Like, that's the kind of stank you get from it.
Well, when was World of Warcraft at its most popular?
Yeah, well, in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They
Yeah,
were the-
but the thing is like, yeah, this is World of Warcraft. People enjoy this, but this is a movie about the fucking first RTS.
Yeah, but the people going to see it were probably mostly like.
It wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't the dedicated Warcraft one. Fan
Yeah.
base was like, "Holy shit, they're finally doing it!"
They're finally doing it, guys.
Yeah,
They're making our shitty game. It's probably shitty.
it's
by
bad
today's
now.
standards.
It's very
It's
old.
it's rough.
I'm sure it was great when it came out.
I don't mean to be dunking on Warcraft the game so much. I don't hate Warcraft the
Warcraft
game.
2 is fine, and Warcraft 3 is a very good game. But
Yeah.
Warcraft 1's old and bad now. They're better RTSs.
I would hope, given time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
They
literally.
came out with one literally like I think a year after.
I think it was a couple years, because I think Warcraft 2 had come out before StarCraft.
Was it? Yeah.
StarCraft
you're
came
right.
out in 99.
It was
right?
99. Yeah, but that's the last big point I have to talk about. Like the editing is just a nightmare. Like it,
No, I agree.
it's all over the place.
Or-
And I'm not even I don't even have any like editing experience really when it comes to film or.
You don't
videos.
have to. If a movie
Yeah.
is bad
Yeah.
enough to like.
And you can it was already choppy because of how they were doing it, and the editing made it feel very
It made
jerky.
Well, the entire movie's jarring.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest problem with this movie.
I think part of that's because they keep having people split up, which makes sense for what is going on. But they keep literally going, hey, I'll meet you at the tower. And then cuts to the tower. And then cuts to the other person about to head to the tower.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of that same thing. I'll meet you there. I'll meet you at the gate. Which feels like what a video game would do, you know?
Mhm.
Hey, I'm going to give you the quest. And you'll see me there. Because
Yeah.
I want to walk there.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, the biggest sin of this is I think it maybe should have been rewritten more to fit the
Yeah,
media they were doing.
They should have rewritten
the story
more to be
in?
a movie.
It's almost as if video games are a medium that stand very well on their own and they don't need to be adapted into film.
I don't mind them trying to adapt. But it is one of those things where how much do you
You
cut away
actually
from
need
the
to
actual...
adapt.
Well, how much do you actually cut away from what is currently there that is necessary for it to stop being a video game movie and just be its own movie?
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
No one has been able to do it really successfully yet. Mortal Kombat, as we established, I think has been the closest.
And that's
Yeah.
not a good movie.
No.
Come on.
No,
it's,
no.
it's a great movie in my heart.
But it's not in your brain.
No.
All right, so
Speaking of great movies, we should answer our
Yeah.
3 most important questions.
Oh, I actually have.
Oh, you have
little-
one more?
Oh,
okay.
Just a
All right,
little
yeah.
thing
Yeah, that's fine.
that's only going to be from me.
All right.
Okay.
A very, very important character to the universe, and granted, he doesn't really play an important role until 2 and 3
Yeah,
and later. Grom Hellscream, who
that's a cool name.
just shows up in the background occasionally. He's just chilling.
Is that the dude with the like long hair?
the ponytail?
Okay,
Yeah.
and the
I thought
axe?
I recognized that dude from the like marketing materials.
Yeah, he's just chilling in multiple scenes. I have multiple just chilling in the background, chilling and killing. He's just there.
So you just have
That's
your Grom sightings?
yeah, just like it happens like at least 3 different times that I saw. Like,
I only
I'm
saw
almost
him
positive.
once.
Yeah, it happens a few times.
I caught him
Makes sense
towards
to
the
be
end.
there.
Yeah, but
No.
they didn't even give him like a little nod.
They
I
didn't
was
name
just
half of their characters until halfway through the movie, you know?
yeah, you're not wrong.
It's cool that they put him there.
No, it is cool that he's.
I
a much more
don't
important
mind
character
those.
later.
I would much rather have those nods than the more
Mhm.
overt, like,
and
nods.
we're in Goldshire.
Yeah, Goldshire. Look at that.
Look
Ooh,
at this!
Dalrod.
Look at this place that is obviously Westfall.
Yeah. Look at now we're talking about Deadwind Pass and the Red Ridge Mountains.
That is the
Remember
issue with the
that?
editing. They're
Oh.
trying to get as many shots in as
Yeah, it is
The-
definitely like how many places can we name?
I've got another thing that I completely forgot about. That map that they're using, that is 100% the World of Warcraft board game because I've
I-
played the board game
I
before.
wrote down
And
board
it
game.
looks exactly like that, and it plays exactly like they're setting up their
Really?
stuff. Yeah,
I had
it's
no idea.
fun fact, great board game. I really like it.
We should play it
It's
sometime.
really expensive.
Because I wrote down board game
I
work, which
love
I thought was
World-
fun.
I love World of
But
Warcraft.
no,
Okay,
was
we'll
quite
see if we can
literal.
find a copy of it then. But it's
It's fun. I like that.
it's that's a
good nod.
I actually really
You know
like
what?
that nod. I thought it was cool.
Instead of watching this movie, go find that board game. Playing.
That's actually
Yeah,
probably a better use of your time.
Yeah, put on the TV all the cutscenes and play the board game.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
that's
a
a good
much
night.
better experience.
In fact, that is a night we should have at some point in the future.
All
I
right,
agree.
sounds
I'm
like
down
it's
with that.
officially time to answer. our
Let's
question.
answer
Yeah,
our question.
so-
Yeah, I don't.
I'll start with I'll ask the question this time. Jack, was this a technically good movie? And then we can go in the circle.
No, this movie is all over the fucking place. Almost none of it makes sense, and the human actors are really bad.
I won't say it was the best movie technically, but I do think it was a passable movie.
Sam,
technically.
you can say
Sam, no, I don't
Sam,
think
you
it was
audibly
bad.
sighed when it ended.
No, my sigh when it ended was because of the issue with the sudden change in orc culture. I was so here for all of the orcs, and having that sudden shift in their honor-bound society into something that would be totally okay with backstabbing an enemy on the middle of the battlefield was a problem. However, technically speaking, I didn't hate it. I give it a C. I don't call it an utter failure. There are worse movies.
I think a C.
You're not wrong
I
about
think
that,
like a
but-
C, C minus is honestly worse than being just straight bad.
I
So
think it's
also
a
agree with
passably
that.
good movie. You know, the CGI was fantastic.
You're not wrong.
The costuming was a little silly, but worked for what they were doing. A lot of the acting was hammed up, but also, what is this movie of? And the orcs were so good, they make up for a lot of the sins I see
the
in
orcs are
humans.
really good. I'll give the movie that. The orcs
I
are
would
the orc
I would kill
storylines.
for Duratan. I too would kill for Duratan, okay?
If they do another movie, they should just orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Duratan and Draka, I would literally lay down.
Well, they
my life
probably
for.
would. They'd probably just.
If they do
make
another
one
movie, just do it CG.
Yeah.
fully. That's what I
All the way
wanted.
through.
That would be
Animated
cool.
movie.
Yeah, that's what I wanted from the beginning. Blizzard just needs to make a movie,
Yeah.
and they're like in-house CG team.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's technically a good film. And while I do love the orcs, I think that's got to go more on like they happen to get good actors for them. The acting, again, on the human side it's really bad. It feels jarring, and basically the entirety of the movie, nothing feels like it necessarily goes together. It's technically not a good film, and I'm not going to fence sit on that one. I don't think it's technically good.
I still maintain.
No one can stop you from
No one
that.
can stop me. No.
I'm gonna try though. This movie is really bad. Its editing is a nightmare. Its soundtrack is forgettable. The costuming is, it's not great. The CGI is good,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the overall art direction is pretty good. But
Mhm.
the overall art direction didn't have to do very much work because, let's face it,
They're
they have
pulling from,
they have a
yeah.
massive video game library to pull from, so they don't really have to do anything more than kind of
What
trace
already
color,
exists,
and that's
it's
fine.
there.
There's nothing wrong with that because you have a bunch of talented video game artists who already did a shit ton of the legwork for you. That being said, though, as far as just a film goes, this movie is all over the place,
Yeah.
and its plot is nonsense at times.
Well, it expects you to
And
way more.
yeah,
than
you have to have a
general viewing.
you have to have an associate's degree in
Warcraft.
Warcraft to get there, because as someone who doesn't know very much, who jokingly referred to everyone as Arthas and or Thrall, I just like you. If you don't know anything about Warcraft, you're going to come into this movie kind of blind, and for that, and they don't do a really good job of explaining it, despite them pounding you over the head with lore. So yeah, no, this is not a technically good movie.
I'm also going to jump in just off of that too. Yes, the CGI is good, but the practical effects are so bad that it takes away from the CG.
But the sets are so fantastic. You know?
Because they
A lot of-
had that.
A lot of
already.
the fifth.
Well, the
No.
building the sets is a little
Building
bit
the sets
different
is-
than actually doing
Yeah.
the CGI artwork, but
yeah.
I'll agree with both. of
And
you on
also
that.
overall, I don't think there are actually too many sets. A lot of the sets are
Are they
CG-wide.
CG? Are they CG
Well,
as well?
not all of that. Like, I'm just talking about like anything with the orcs is basically mostly CG.
Yeah,
Like, not all
but even the
CG.
situation with the humans, like the war room,
Yeah, the
the
war
jail
room's
cell,
real. The jail cell's
the
real.
library.
Oh, the library is really good.
All of those
Yeah, the
are really
library's
well
great.
done. I really like those. And having
The
never
tower.
seen,
You mean Karazhan?
yeah, whatever. What the fuck? But I also hadn't seen or heard anything about this plot, but I followed it okay. There were some things that are like, okay, this is some sort of spooky woo shit that I should maybe have more understanding for, but I can follow along and I know this is the bad thing very clearly, and these things tie together. I have
That's
a few moments where I got a little like, okay, I feel like this means more to somebody else other than me. And it makes it hard for me to totally be down with, like,
You know what I just
Khadgar
remembered?
with
Yeah,
the boss
that's-
lady.
I just remembered
That's the
something that I
same
got
problem
wrong
I had.
earlier. So the reason why some of the orcs are green initially is because they drank the blood of something called Manaroth, and that's kind of partly what Fel is. But Fel energy still comes from like
You're telling me this guy was named Mana?
Manaroth.
And it gives him power.
Yeah, it gave them power.
Magic power.
I got a level with the dog. I think the Blizzard's naming conventions might need to be updated. I'm gonna go back in time and tell them.
It was just those. I mean,
Yeah.
Bull
It's all-
Dan's cool.
You know, the
Durtan's
other
cool.
The other names are fine. I'm just
Yeah.
mostly making fun of the demon names and stuff. Up next, did y'all have a good time?
Oh yeah, I watched this movie 3 times. I would not watch this movie another time if I wasn't expecting to have somewhat of a good time.
Yeah.
Like going back into it. It's stupid, but I like Warcraft. I like the world.
Of
no pun
Warcraft.
intention. I like the world of Warcraft a lot.
Yeah.
So it's fun having a romp in it, even if it's kind of shitty, even if you're stepping in poo along the way. So
Fair enough.
yes, I have a lot of fun watching it.
I also clearly had fun. You know,
Yeah.
I would probably. No, I really enjoyed it. You know, I won't say it was the best book. I definitely would have rather read it. I'll be honest here. Like, this would be a fantastic novel. But I genuinely had a
Hey,
good
it
time.
exists. You can go read that
I
novel
might go
right
do
now.
that.
Yeah.
But as far as movies go, yeah, if it's on, I'd watch it. You know, I'd have no issue with it. I don't know that I'd buy it for myself, but I would never say no to watching it again. There's not gonna be just like, ugh, I can't watch Warcraft. No, I'm not gonna have that. You know, I had a good time.
Okay.
I'm with Jack. I had a great time.
Yeah.
As bad as this movie is, every time they fed me in the beginning all those locations, I got so hype. I'm not even gonna lie. I love Warcraft. I love the world of Warcraft. I like the lore a lot. I had a great time. All the Easter eggs were they hit me dead center
No, you
target.
can't call them Easter eggs. Not when they were set up like a volleyball spike.
Yeah, all the
It's
time.
more like a
I'm
fried
sorry.
egg.
I'm sorry.
Look,
It's
when
presented to you on a plate, sunny
When
side
I,
up
who
with a
know
bacon
nothing,
smile.
recognize, that means something to somebody
No.
every single time.
Yeah.
I will rephrase. All the bowling balls they threw at me
Yeah.
hit mid-pen.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great.
The antique shop that is Warcraft the movie that we walked into was
Yeah.
quite a marvel to look at times.
I had a pretty good time as well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually was not expecting that of you.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I've learned something going through these movies, if I had watched this by myself, I don't think I would have a good time at all. But since I'm watching it with you guys, I'm having a pretty good time. Because watching a movie in a group ultimately just kind of makes it better.
Yeah.
Because you get to, like, have moments of just giggling with a bunch of other people in the room when something stupid happens. Or you all get to look at each other and go, oh my god.
He really is creepy.
Yeah. And that's a great fun time. So it's going to take a heck of a movie. If Hansel and Gretel didn't do it, this movie wasn't going to do it.
Hold on. Do you like this movie more or less than Hansel and Gretel?
Oh, way more.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, way
Rated
more.
more, right?
Well, I mean, not to turn this into the series Jake talks about, compares every movie to Hansel and Gretel.
We compare
but-
movie Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West. You know?
Yeah, but that's just
Yeah,
a
so
running
far-
gag going.
yeah.
Every episode needs a mention of Wild Wild West. But no, I just think that the orc sections alone carry this above it. Like, I just think they're
That's totally fair.
yeah. I
I
think
would have
that
to agree.
if it was just the human parts, Hansel and Gretel would be
Oh, I
better.
wouldn't want to
But
watch this movie.
If it was, yeah, but the orc parts are really good and actually kind of good. Like, not just oh, this is a shitty movie, but there's a shining example. But
There's
like, these
good
are
up
kind
and
of
down with the
yeah,
orcs, you know, them
it's-
sitting on the rock. Them.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's actual character work
The-
there that
the-
does not exist.
The red versus blue.
Hey.
Hey, you ever wonder why we're here? Moment.
Yeah, I love those.
There's a lot
I'm a
of good
sucker for that.
bits.
But all that to say, yeah, I like this movie more than Hansel and Gretel. It has more there
You
for me.
enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
Good.
I enjoyed watching it.
It's shocking to me.
Yeah, a little bit to me too, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest. I came in expecting to go no, and then with our final question,
We already kind of have
would-
Jackson.
yeah, would you watch this
Oh, yeah.
again?
Yeah, I mean, 3 times. A 4th isn't going to hurt me, I don't think.
Probably not.
By the 20th, we'll talk, but 4 times, that's nothing.
Yeah, and I also would watch it again. I
Yeah.
have no issue with it. You know, like nothing. Even the bits, like the human portion, was the portion that I had the most issues with. I think the human potions, the human portions, are the ones I had the most issues with across the board.
Oh,
If anything, the only issues with. And I'd still, I'd probably do something and go do dishes or something while the human portions are on. But I'd definitely watch this again.
You make a really good point. I would totally watch this movie if, like, even though it would make less sense, or it might make more sense. I don't know. If you just cut out the human bits and
You
just
would
leave it
lose-
all orc,
You
oops,
would
all
lose
orc.
some stuff for sure.
I'd
because
still rather watch it, I
would-
think.
I want double the Duratan and half as much Lothar.
Yeah.
That sounds like a diet supplement that they just came out with. Like, they're talking about all this stuff that they had.
Okay, in theory, do you like Doomhammer, the bald guy? Did you like him?
I thought he was cool. He also had an arc. That I
Okay,
could follow
because
him.
if they're doing more orcs, it would be, if they did a second movie, in theory, it would be more him.
Mm-hmm.
Grom would finally speak
Mm-hmm.
instead of just being in the background, and probably a little bit more cool Dan.
I want to know.
All right, there you go. Oh, and Thrall, but as like a imprisoned
I
teenager.
want to see
Yeah.
Doomhammer raise that little baby Jesus. I want him to see him steal that boy back.
Steal the boy back.
Steal the boy back.
Steal back your Jesus. Warcraft 2.
That's what I want to see.
Yep.
I pay money.
That's fair.
No, it's not him who steals him back. Spoiler, it's not him who steals him back.
Dang.
It's
We'll have
a
to wait
human.
for the sequel.
Of course, it's a human.
Yeah. It's a good
Or
human, though. It's
go-
a good human. It's an interesting one.
Which human is
that's
it?
two different things.
Jaina.
Oh, I know her, actually. That's Laura Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Laura Bailey can steal the boy back.
Okay.
It's just Laura Bailey, though. They don't even put her in costume.
Yes.
It's just Laura Bailey. She
watched
shows
that
up on
movie.
set. Rachel, what about you?
I think I would probably watch it again. However, more importantly, I think to the franchise and probably the reason they made this movie, y'all haven't played World of Warcraft in years because I got too into it. Man, I want to jump back in.
Yeah.
And if this was a marketing movie, it got me.
It absolutely was.
It absolutely got me. But yeah, I'd probably watch it again.
Okay.
No.
No?
Yeah, no. What else is there for me? I've watched it once. I know what it's going to be. I knew what this movie was going to be coming into it.
Mhm.
It's one of the better video game movies, but that's like saying, this is the shiniest dog turd. It doesn't really mean anything. It's
It means
just,
that that's a shiny dog turd. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, man.
yeah, you
It's
know
not
what?
right
You're
on.
right. But
Like
no.
shiny Pokemon.
But no, I'm pretty good not to go back to this one, I think. I'm fine with that.
You're just gonna watch the cinematics and play the board game.
Yeah, the cinematics
All
are awesome. I still go. I don't even love World of Warcraft, and I think the cinematics are great. Blizzard knows how to do a cinematic. They cannot do a live action movie, though, is what I've determined from this.
People keep trying, and I wish they would, either commit to cartoon or just make it its own thing,
Yeah.
Stop. I'm gonna go with stop trying to adapt video games. If you want to make something in the universe, that's cool. But
Fresh
stop.
IP,
But
please.
yeah, but stop trying to adapt video games. This includes all the ones that are in the works right now.
I'm
Just
still gonna watch them.
I'm still gonna go watch that new Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, I guess I am gonna watch that.
Ah.
I can't, come on now. That's Mortal Kombat. That's like
different.
that's unfair. That's a
What's
targeted.
the one video game movie you would not watch?
Anything done by David Cage.
No one would ever let a David Cage script near the box office.
Don't you put that evil into the world? They absolutely would. You forget those games are well reviewed almost across the board.
Yeah.
People love the David Cage.
No one would. Those reviews, I feel like, are like, "Oh, good job, David. I'll put it up on the fridge."
I wish they
But
were.
we'll never let him near Hollywood.
I wish they were.
He's already
but
making movies, basically.
yeah,
Barely.
no, they're movies.
Plus, David
What
Cage-
else would you call them? Video games.
David Cage is up his own ass so much that he would never want to make an actual movie.
So are lots of
Someone else might, though.
directors.
No one.
Someone.
No one. No one would ever look at that and be like, yes, this is my passion.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, David Cage is the number. If I had to choose an actual answer though, and not go for the low hanging fruit,
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to see a Persona movie.
oh,
It'd be like 8 movies
No,
just to
it'd
get
that'd be-
halfway through the plot.
that has been a TV show, but yeah, that'd be a
It'd be a
terrible
TV
one, especially
show.
an American adaptation. Good sweet Christ,
Like Death Note all over again.
that'd be. I mean, it'd be better than Death Note by virtue of Persona being, better than Death Note. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Persona. Actually, now that you put that evil out into the world, I'm liking these random questions at the end. Do you guys have an answer?
Halo. Actually,
That's
not,
No, but
not,
Halo's done
no,
good
no,
live
no,
action
no.
before.
not to not be in a movie, but I want to see a Halo movie.
Okay,
done
so
Oh,
you
I'd
want that
love
one.
to. Yeah, I'd
Because
actually.
that
love-
could be done in 2
It's
hours.
Been, it's been done well.
Yeah.
Do you remember Ford Onto Dawn?
Yeah.
Ford
I
Onto
like
Dawn was
Ford Unto
awesome.
I like they did the vignettes where they did a bunch of different styles.
Yeah,
Oh,
Legends.
yeah, Halo Legends. That
I
was
like
the animated
Legends.
one.
yeah,
That was
that's
awesome
also
too.
really good.
It was like their animatrix.
Yeah.
Mhm. Rachel?
That I would want as a movie
Would want or wouldn't
not.
want?
Would or would not?
Would not want.
I would not want to.
Okay, so
I was thinking,
Wait, really?
wait, what?
Hell yeah!
Banjo and Kazooie, I would hate. I would hate
Yeah,
a
that'd be
Banjo and
terrible.
Kazooie
That would be very bad.
You're
Nonsense.
telling me you don't want to hear it.
I don't want them to live action
Yeah.
it.
No. So
I wasn't even thinking. Sorry, Rachel. I wasn't even thinking live action. That's horrible.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh my
Not one
god.
live-action
There's a
bear.
commercial that exists with a live action bear and bird for a Banjo-Kazooie commercial. It's terrifying.
I'm gonna go home, put a teddy bear next to Turbo, and I'm just gonna text
See
you all
what
that
happens.
later. That's the line. They announced the
I'm
casting.
just picturing like Jungle Book level Banjo and Kazooie.
Oh my god. Wait, like the
horrifying.
Jungle Book with Christopher Walken as the monkey?
That's the one.
Yeah. God, yeah, that would be fucking horrible. Sorry, Rachel. Sorry. That just put a curse
One that I
down my
would
head.
want, not as a movie, but I think Dishonored would be like a mini-series, like an 8-episode mini-series.
I want that so
Miniseries
bad.
is different. You can make a lot of good things.
Yeah,
out of
but-
miniseries.
It's the perfect medium.
Yeah, it is
yeah.
the perfect medium.
Would not want. Okay, so I just started playing it, but I can already tell you right now that if they ever attempted to get close to Hades, I would burn. I would burn
No way.
the
That's
group down.
that's another Persona situation. You're 30 hours in.
Yeah.
You're like, we're not even that close to being done yet.
No.
Because I could see them trying it, and I could see me absolutely wanting to torch a place because I can already tell you right now it would be bad.
It would be like Reverse 24.
Oh, actually, I had an interesting,
Yeah.
I just had an
I
interesting
can see
concept. Are movies like Groundhog Days like the equivalent of roguelikes in video
Yes,
games?
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Groundhog
Groundhog
Day
Day
is
is
a
a
roguelike
roguelike. Yeah.
Groundhog Day is a road like. And on that bombshell, I think we should wrap it up here.
Yeah.
I have been Jake.
Rachel?
Sam.
You almost said that you were
You
Sam.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
you were
almost said this-
you were starting.
I said this. I was about to say this was Rachel, and I went, I'm still Rachel.
Both
I
are
would
bad.
hope. I would hope that this movie didn't like curse you enough to where you stopped being Rachel. I have been the not the producer of the Banjo-Kazooie live action movie.
Thanks for listening, everyone.